Exactly what we thought might happen, and often happens going into turn one, Jeff.
Yeah, just getting a little bit too hot. There's so much time to be made up by attacking that corner and carrying a lot of speed to it. Not as long as I thought I heard a car spinning in the background. I couldn't tell if that was
not
in the parking lot or if that was on the racetrack.
What happened to Ryan Sieg?
Well, there you have it. Turn one.
Same spot. I think this is a developing theme here in this practice. Byron in that mix as well. Oh,
look out.
And Dylan Lupton off the racetrack into the gravel pit.
He's going to need help getting out of the beach on this one.
Yes, he will need help. That will bring out the red flag, no doubt. And I would assume this is quite easy to do. Come in that corner a little too hot, and that's why that gravel trap is there.
Strange.
Yeah.
Looked like it was either a brake issue
like
or a wheel hop
here,
issue.
guys, Dale Earnhardt Jr. coming to turn one and just loops it around there. Oh, the 5 got a little loose in front of him, and that's easy to do down in turn one because the way you come in that corner and the amount of speed you want to roll into it, a lot of times means you have to get out of the brake early and let the car roll. But when you do that, you need to trust that the rear end's going to be there when you get to the center corner and on the exit, you just loop it around. Oh, we got the 23 here having an issue.
Hey, Parker, it's Dave on the 88 for Junior. He said it's steering very hard and it's very loose, so that's hard to control down there.
Such a fast racetrack. Yeah, I think he had a problem. That's not a, I don't know, Parker. I don't know what you think, but that's an odd place to lose the car up on the top of the S's. So
Jeff, I don't know if it's going to be that odd this weekend. I think the low downforce, that is going to be a low grip area of the racetrack. That right-hander has turned into a real corner where before it was kind of a fast, wide open part of the straightaway, Parker, but I think that's going to be lower grip than we've seen in years past. His average lap time at Sonoma was ridiculously fast, and we have Jimmy Johnson either into or next to the tire barrier.
He's down in turn number one, Stevie, and this is very reminiscent of his NASCAR Xfinity Series crash that he had years ago here when he drove for Herzog Motorsports. That's a hard lick for Jimmy Johnson now as he comes off the end of the front stretch and basically wheel hop the car going into turn one.
You called it, Mike. That is classic wheel hop. He gets on the brakes. It's downhill there, Lee. Gravity is working against you. Aerodynamics, we talked about less downforce, but that's less rear tire grip as well. Shows you how fast they're going as he comes into the picture. Basically, you get on the brakes, and the brake is trying to get that thing slowed down. But when you downshift a little too early, the wheels hop. Luckily this time, though, he had some brakes.
This is one of the most gut-wrenching things you'll ever see in motorsport. And fortunately, Jimmy was uninjured. Do you remember this? Oh, it just leaves you with a sickening feeling.
It's amazing that Jimmy Johnson left that without injury. He said he was so excited he was alive that he got up to celebrate. I mean, think about that. An incredible impact. Exactly. You're going to be a sitting duck. Oh, we've got trouble here. The 10 car of Danica spun off. Looks like the carousel, guys.
So this theme of spinning with not many laps turned continues.
The carousel, there's that curbing. The 10 is already very loose on corner exit, and it's that momentum that Mike Bagley talked about through the S's. Well, it's the same way through the carousel. You have to get in the gas so soon, carry the speed so long. You see she's loose, kind of up over the curb, just what little bit of grip she had. She did a nice job of locking it down with no contact.
And 2 of the 3 of these incidences that we've seen, one of them being at the top of the S's and this one being at the exit of the carousel, these are places that if you have an accident in a race, it's going to be big.
Trouble here for Kurt Busch. Exiting turn one.
There's some damage on the right front of that car, Lee. It looks like he spun out, but the right front has a wrinkle above the tire.
When
Touch the nose into the fence a little bit. We'll see what the damage is.
Yeah, just accelerating off of turn one and up on that curve like we're going to see so many cars do. But sometimes that curving has less grip, Parker, and you're trying to accelerate with big speed leaving. And sometimes you get on that curve and you'll just lose the car, and that's what might happen to Kurt.
Exactly. After some 31 years of racing, this is what happened to Boris in the inner loop.
Yeah, it just looks like he overcooks the entry. Couldn't commit to that first right-hand turn. The back was moving around a little bit, perhaps the wheel hop or just a loose condition. Has to abort, go straight, and heavy damage to the nose of that 33 from going through the grass area.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, retired FBI Special Agent Wesley Wong.
May we never forget all those poor souls we lost on 9/11. Drivers, in honor of the men and women who protect and serve this great country, start your engines.
Lights are off on the pace car. Field assembled, grouped up. This is the Zippo 200 at Watkins Glen. And it's time to bring the action. Front row of Logano and Busch. And Joey on the inside will take turn 1 cleanly. Kyle goes alongside. It's door to door through turn 1. Kyle Busch is not having anything of it.
Side by side into turn number 2. Logano doesn't want to give it away, but Busch has the advantage. He'll grab the lead. Logano falls to second. Kyle Larson, Paul Menard, and Brad Keselowski to front 5 as they clear turn 4 in the S's for the first time and set up for the bus stop.
Yes, you see them right now coming in, the leaders into the inner loop. You're surrounded by fans on both sides of this great racetrack. Kyle Busch gapping Joey Logano a little bit as they go through the inner loop. He's been one of the best cars through that section all weekend as he gets a run off of the carousel. They're gapping Joey Logano just a little bit more, using all the racetrack on the exit, Jeff.
And Kyle Busch doing a great job on the start of the race, taking control right off the bat. Going to be hard to pass him now. Hard breaking into turn 6, a left-hander, going to set up, swing wide. Get yourself set up for this turn 7. Now there's a passing opportunity. If Logano can be close enough to Kyle Busch, he can potentially try to pass him in turn 1.
Front pack, and as he's taken off. Oh, and we've got an incident. The 23 is in the wall. Spencer Gallagher has spun. Problem with the rear left, as you can see that. How did it occur?
See if you can back up enough. Back up.
Final corner. The team's asking him to back up so he doesn't have to make an entire lap on that flat tire. That's the final corner of the racetrack there, off from turn 7, the last right-hander. Not a lot of damage to the car. Your concern here, though, is that flat tire, a brake line, Lee. Those could catch a brake line and make more damage. So I think we got a view of what happened here off the final corner. Well, this is earlier. This is in the
inner loop. Aha, that's how that tire got cut down. 14 of J.J. Yaley.
Yeah, and then you see, as you mentioned it, the damage from earlier finally cut the left rear tire. Spencer does a nice job looping it around, but not making contact with the inner wall there, backing it up and getting onto pit road. Now the team just needs to take its time, make sure there is not more damage than just the body work.
Helping drivers worry less. What did you make of that, Steve?
Oh, as we see the leader.
It's gone. He's around.
Go ahead. Good right there. Just into 1.
Rejoins in front of Paul Menard and Eric Jones. What happened to the 18 at turn 1?
Yeah, spun out. Wheel hopped it in, I guess.
This is a corner that you cannot take lightly. I know these guys make it look easy lap after lap, but you see with almost a 2-second lead, he goes down into the corner and literally just spins out on his own. It's that difficult to get the car slowed down that hill into turn 1. The rear tires get very light. It's easy to lock them up. Marty?
Yeah.
To fire off the start there, they were able to keep up with me because it lacked lateral rear. As the tire temps got hot, the tire pressures came in, and then I just wheel hopped.
And the field is coming to the conclusion of stage 1. This first 20-lap block, there'll be another 20-lap stage for stage 2, and then the final run home will be over 42 laps. So, while Brad Keselowski gets the stage win, we look a little further down the order, Steve, to where the first points will be distributed.
Yeah, we talked about that. It was not just about all the Cup guys. While they did take the top 4 positions, Justin Allgaier in that 7 came home 5th, got some points for his run to try to make the playoffs.
39 of Sieg.
Yeah, you see basically the jack gets dropped, and that's the signal for the gas man to disengage. But it's such a tight opening at times. And remember, he's standing kind of the opposite side. We talk about backwards pit stops. It's backwards for everyone. The car leaves in an opposite direction, something he's not used to, and it catches the gas can and drags it down the pit road.
Harvick and Paul Menard as we enter the Geico restart zone. Let's go at the Glen. How do these 2 youngsters handle the pressure? Harvick is all over Hemrick. And the rookie, Harvick gets a little loose down into 1, gone. Kevin goes around. So too does Cole Custer in the 00. boy, Harvick tried to hang on to it and just couldn't.
Those are both Stewart-Haas racing cars. Cole Custer and Kevin Harvick are teammates.
You're looking at the third car, 41, white and green. There it goes there. It breaks there. He uses Cole Custer a little bit and then ends up turning the youngster in the process as well as himself.
Very fortunate no one else made contact, so while the tires might have a flat spot, I didn't see any heavy contact that would have knocked a fender in or anything. You see right here, the 41 is just trying to check up, not to run Daniel Hemrick over. And at that point, it just comes around, like you said, Lee.
That's something you rarely see have Kevin Harvick do. I mean, he's such a good road racer. But think about the strategy. Both of these teams, the Ford pitted earlier, Cole Custer had not yet pitted. Now their strategy is out the window. One small mistake, and now their race is turned upside down.
And I like the basic. We talk about strategy, but as we see the 90 car here outside, I think that's the bus stop. He's out in that collection area. The bus stop, we'll have to see if he can get the car going or not. This might be a caution. Well, there he goes. He starts to roll again. But I like simple strategy, Kelly. Sometimes you can get a little too creative, a little too chaotic, and make it difficult for the race to be run and run efficiently from behind the wheel, as we have another car smoking on the front stretch.
Stephen
Go up on the skid pad.
And we had cars everywhere.
Pad. There you go.
All I was trying to say is a simple strategy is sometimes better, but these cars kept distracting me, Lee.
I knew what you were getting.
Hey, I can beat these big names on the road course, actually driving away from Joey Logano.
End of stage 2, and the win goes to Paul Menard. But I think the story of that stage was the 18 of Kyle Busch and a surging comeback. He was 28th at the last restart prior to this one, and made his way all the way up to 4.
Here. Sorry, we have the 11 car that just got in the 90 and spun him out here down in the carousel.
So Blake Cook and Brian Henderson involved in an incident at the carousel.
Keep coming, buddy. Keep coming. You're all good out the back.
No caution flying at the moment, and it may not.
But that's the new Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Years ago, the 90 would have been in the gravel pit. That would have been a caution to allow Keselowski to close up on the rear bumper of Kyle Busch, as you see going around right there. Here's a replay. Started a little late, but I think
Steve,
we can guess what happened there.
I know Henderson was on cold tires because they just pushed that car back to the garage, and he had just re-entered the track. So he could have been very slow for that reason.
And remember, guys, in 7 of the last 12 races here, the final green stretch was 6 laps or less, so it wouldn't be uncommon.
Oh, guys, we got trouble again here in the interloop. The 8 car just got spun by the 19 of Matt Tifft. He's sitting down there. There's a lot of going down here. These guys are getting very aggressive with the lappers.
Josh Bilicki in the 8. So, in the closing 12 laps, this thing is starting to unravel. And Bilicki's able to get the 8 going again. What happened? Let's have a look. Ooh. Matt Tifft in the 19. And Josh Bilicki. 2 into 1. Doesn't go.
That's narrow enough for one car.
Exactly.
And guys, now the leaders are having to stay to one side of the track or the other to avoid grass from these incidents, and could fill up their openings on the front and heat up the cars.
And sponsored by Credit One Bank. Whoa, big incident, turn 7. Coming on, that's Brennan Poole. The Ganassi driver, what has happened? Damage on the rear of the car. He's able to fire the 48 and continue.
Reminder, you called this live when it happened, Lee. The 48 of Brennan Poole, a hard impact into the outside safer barrier on the exterior of turn 7.
Here's the helmet cam view. Have a listen. Spin and win. But that applies to Kyle Busch. He's never won here in Xfinity Series competition at Watkins Glen. Guess what? He has now. The 18 goes to victory lane.
Watkins Glen.
Rowdy has finally done it. So check Pocono off the Cup list last week. Checks the Glen off the Xfinity list.
Glen. JTR finally got this one on the Xfinity side. Good job, guys. Thank you.
And you heard the radio call there. JGR finally gets it. That's the 139th career win for the organization, breaking a tie with Roush Fenway for the most all-time. It's not just a big day for Kyle Busch. It's huge for Coach Gibbs.
It is, but he still has to execute. Right now, he can enjoy this one, and it looks like he's going to. Recovery, too.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't easy. He didn't run up front all day long. Had to go to the back.
There was one of those restarts after he spun, went back. He was 28th, and he drove his way to 4th. That was big.
With that win, number 90 for Kyle Busch, and his first one here at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series car. You spun, you got back in it, you stayed there, you picked up the win. How good does that feel right now?
Just finally being able to win here at Watkins Glen in the Xfinity Series is one of the boxes we've been meaning to check off for a long, long time. So this feels good. It feels good in front of this crowd. The crowd's awesome here at Watkins Glen. Fans here really support their racetrack, really support their racing, so it's fun to see. Tomorrow I'm hearing it's a sellout, so that's awesome. Congratulations to the staff here at the track. But just an awesome car. I can't say enough about Eric Phillips and all my guys. They did a great job giving me everything I needed to go out there. I tried to screw it up a couple times, but thankfully I brought it back and we were able to get up front there, and the pit strategy worked to our advantage.
The burnout down there in turn 1 for all those fans, how much do these fans up here in the north mean to you guys?
They mean a lot, you know. I mean, anywhere we go, the fans mean everything to us. But, you know, up here at Watkins Glen, they really support their racing. You can tell by the infield packed and all the camping and everything that goes on here and some of the concerts. We've seen that last week at Pocono, this week at Watkins Glen. Racetracks are starting to get it right, and the fans are coming to support that, so we appreciate it.
Congratulations. We'll see you in Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Steve, you mentioned it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, President and Chief Executive Officer for the New York State Department of Economic Development, Howard Zemsky.
The Empire State rocks it. I Love New York brings it. NASCAR Nation, let's do it. Drivers, start your engine!
Brandon's got me on 2? Yeah, 10 4-wheel, 2 fuel there.
Final road course event of 2017. This is the I Love New York 355 at the Glen, and it's time to bring the action. The 24 of Chase Elliott positioning there. Daniel Suarez on the inside. Kyle Larson doesn't fight Kyle Busch for that top spot into turn 1. And they stretch their legs, Bagman, towards you.
And Kyle Busch does exactly that, Lee. He'll stretch his legs and extend them to a 2.5 or a 3-car length lead. It's the other Kyle. Larson to second. Truex to third, with Chase Elliott fourth and Aaron Jones rounding out the top 5 as they set up for the first run into the bus stop.
The hardest braking zone, Bagley. They smashed the brakes. A lot of teams worried about those brakes after overheating them in qualifying. Kyle Busch continues to get ahead of the field, as you see a lot of cars getting single file from being 2x2 as they enter the carousel. And here you have to be single file. If you were 2x2 here, you'd be losing a ton of time as they exit off the carousel towards you, Jeff.
And you see Kyle Busch, he's only extended that lead. Going to make this left-hander into turn 6. Jamie McMurray taking a peek at A.J. Allmendinger. Nothing happened. A.J. Allmendinger's got to protect this inside line. Everybody's still single file right now, Beck.
Jeff, a relatively subdued opening lap, but don't expect it to stay like that for too much longer. Coming to the end of stage 1. And that is stage win number 9 in this season for the 18 of Kyle Busch. And Jeff Burton mentioned momentum, Steve. Last weekend's Cup win, even though he broke a 36-race winless streak, the win there, the win yesterday, which was dominant. It was a spin and win, and he fought his way back through the field. Now he wins the opening stage of this race. I think there's big momentum there. As we welcome you back to the Glen, big news involving the 18, the car that dominated the first stage.
Lee, he did get a win in stage 1, but Kyle Busch back on pit road. He said he felt like he had a left front wheel that was loose, and they had a long radio conversation about it. Adam Stevens said, well, if you're positive, come back down pit road. They wanted to make sure that nothing was perhaps, Steve, stuck behind the wheel, that could have been the issue. But here's a radio conversation with Kyle Busch and Adam Stevens.
Coming back to you, loose wheel. Let me check with these guys here, pal. I'm 1,000% confident. You know which one? Yep. left front.
So we talked about this pit road and how the drivers are on the opposite side. Well, we're here, Kasey Kahne trying to get out around the 27, catches the tire, and the tire carrier luckily didn't send him up and over the hood, but did knock him over.
Suarez blocking, not letting him make that move.
Oh, the 78 lit it up out of turn 6. This is going to be the first stage win for Daniel Suarez in the 19, and he does hold Martin Truex off for the stage 2 victory. Well done. That was tight at the end.
Save heavy for me.
Good stuff from the 25-year-old from Monterrey, Mexico. First year in the Monster Energy Cup Series, and he gets a stage win.
Also, Denny Hamlin lined up there as they go streaking down the back straightaway.
That they do into the inner loop, which is lined with fans on the fences on the right and the left, surrounding this entire place. Oh, we got trouble here. Somewhere in the midfield, 2 cars go spinning. Looks like the 2 car of Brad Keselowski and the 18 of Kyle Busch.
And Kyle Busch was coming up the outside, entering the inner loop. He was at drag race with AJ Allmendinger, came up on the 2. He's been chopping the field up left and right, but perhaps that was one move just too many.
Here, 4 tires.
That's a very difficult place to pass side by side right in front of you, Parker. That is very, very tight trying to get in there. 2 competitive cars trying to carry speed. Nobody was going to give that spot. So that is not the first time we've seen cars go side by side and spin in the inner loop.
Replay right here. You see Brad Keselowski kind of committing, and I don't think he understands the 18 is to his left. He's carrying the speed in there like he's going to have all the track on his left-hand side to work for. It wasn't there. He makes contact with the 18, spinning both cars out.
Yeah, that was a battle for 8th. And what happened there, Steve, is that Keselowski is right behind Kurt Busch. Well, Keselowski cannot carry the speed, just like on the interstate. When the guy in front of you slows down, you have to slow down sooner, and so on. It just goes further back. Kyle Busch had that clear lane, and he was flying up to the outside. It wasn't that Kyle overdrove, but I agree with you. Keselowski had no idea he was going to be there. Keselowski had to slow down because of the accordion effect. Marty.
And Kyle Busch leaving with 4 fresh tires. He asked him to pull the fenders out. He is not happy with Brad Keselowski, in essence saying, I will get him if I can get Keselowski. Was that 2 car of Brad Keselowski. Finally told Paul Wolfe, he said, listen, I have a vibration. I can't keep it out here any longer. He thought he might have a tire going down. All the tires are indeed up, meaning they have air pressure in them. However, though, they were very badly flat spotted. So now a caution on the track. That's going to throw another wrench into all this. See the 34 car having an issue and a tire on the track as well. But Brad Keselowski did pit, and they might be able to stretch it from here, Steve, save some fuel and try and make it to the end. Who knows?
Yeah, as I saw the 34 of Landon Cassill's tire go down during your report, that's exactly what I was thinking. So you see as he enters turn 1 here, the left front tire is just soft. The nose is already on the ground. You see the sparks. So something obviously cut that tire. We haven't seen any sort of tire trouble. Then Landon does the best job possible nursing it around, but there's nothing he can do from behind the wheel. The piece finally comes off. Huge piece of debris causes that yellow. And as you were reporting, Marty, 41 laps is a lot farther than I would like to stomach, but Paul Wolfe now has at least a chance. Maybe he can gamble with fuel strategy and try to recover from these issues on the racetrack.
4 tires, Sunoco fuel, and an air pressure adjustment, Marty.
What a run for these young kids like Daniel Suarez and Ryan Blaney on the bottom of your screen, running second, coming to pit road. He said it was better that run, but starting to fade at the end of the run. He said he was loose on entry, especially, and he needs help in the left-handers, especially. 4 fresh Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel, they hope, until the end of the race.
And there was a big crash right there, Lee. Did you see the 4 of Kevin Harvick? You can time to see him at the top of your screen. He's the blue car right here. His crew is working on it. He had not just a little fender bender, a major impact. You see the hole in the nose. He stopped and actually backed into his pit box after the contact. That is one of the bigger wrecks you're going to see on pit road.
That was chaotic. Have a look at this. There's Harvick. Oof, just nails the 83 of Brett Moffitt.
And then you see Staub, nice job. So right here on board, this is going to be a great shot of it. Listen.
Be ready, be ready, be ready. Go hard, 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 hard. One outside, one outside.
Yeah, that right there is just a difficult spot for a driver to be in. You can hear his crew chief saying, go, 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 go. So you're leaving. That's your cue to leave.
And Moffitt was waiting. He kind of balked to get into his stall because A.J. Allmendinger was there.
Final time to the back straightaway.
Bagman Martin Truex Jr. just did the slowest lap of this run, almost 4 seconds off one of his fast laps. He gets in the grass and makes a little mistake there in the inner loop. That's going to allow Matt Kenseth to gain. This is where you have to push. As you come off the carousel, you've got to give it everything you've got. If this car has enough fuel, it will make it from here, Jeff.
Kenseth can see the ticket to the playoffs right in front of him. He's praying Martin Truex Jr. runs out of fuel as he approaches turn 6. Only 2 corners left to go.
Matt Kenseth, can he do it? Truex locks up into turn 6. 1 corner left. The difference may be between making the playoffs and not. The guy who leads the points, the guy who needs the win, it's not going to happen. Martin Truex Jr. will win at the Glen, and he's running out of fuel, but he makes it. Oh, what a thriller. Truex does it. He's won at Sonoma, and now he's won at the Glen. And he was the smartest in the fuel game. So close for Matt Kenseth.
Look, he does have a little bit of fuel left.
Enough for a little burnout. His girlfriend Sherry is there.
So many things go into these wins. It's not just speed, it's teamwork, communication. It's a great game plan. It's sticking to the game plan. Martin Truex Jr. in the 78, as you mentioned, 4 wins. They have found multiple ways to do donuts at the end of a race.
And we come back to that statement from Colburn, crew chief, when they got knocked out with engine failure in Sonoma. Hey, we were so strong. Let's get a new engine in it. And let's do the next road course. Well, they've done it, and they've won it.
And so then you could hear the elation when one of them finally panned out for him. He had to make a charge. He had to save fuel. Martin, it came down to fuel savings there. And finally, one falls in your favor.
I can't believe that. Man, that's so stressful to just let guys go by for the lead. I've never had to do that before, but I've got so much trust in Cole. He was telling me what to do, and he knew based on our lap times and how fast we were going what we needed to do. So just hats off to him, this whole team. I mean, I've wanted to win here a long, long time. This is a special place. I think back in the 90s watching my dad run here and coming here as a kid and spending time in the garage just walking around and wishing someday to race here, let alone win. So this is a big one for our team. This is a big one for Cole. He had a tough week, lost his best friend, and really thinking about his family and just proud of Cole and his perseverance and everything he does for this team. And Barney and everybody at home, thank you guys so much for letting me drive these things.
Martin, a sold-out crowd here in Watkins Glen. You got fans on either side of you. What do you think getting to victory lane for the first time?
I'm kind of speechless, really. I mean, I really didn't think it was going to play out there, so I'm a little bit dumbfounded here, but lost for words. But super excited, and like I said, this is just an awesome racetrack, and you want to win at road courses. Now we've got one at each of them. That's pretty awesome, and I'm just so proud of that.
Congratulations. We'll see you in victory lane.
Thank you.